Story 1. A guy I worked with had a long-distance relationship with this girl he had yet to meet in person. Then suddenly she tells him she can fly and meet him in a month. At the time, he lived in the basement of his folks' place. Not something he had declared earlier in their chats. In a panic, he got a new apartment. Then he went to one of those furniture rental places and rented an entire apartment's worth of furniture. Couch, tables, dinette set, bedroom suite, TV, etc. The whole apartment was rental furniture, which, if you don't know, gets expensive really quickly. So after all this, the girl finally shows up. They go to his apartment, and that's when she tells him that they should break up. She didn't want to do it over text and without meeting him at least once. She thought it wouldn't be fair to him. She stayed one night and got on the plane the next day. Apparently, her stop in our city was just an extended layover as she was heading to Europe to tour with friends. She slept in the rental bed, and he slept on the rental couch. The next day, he drove her to the airport in his rental car. I don't know how many thousands he dropped for that one breakup date, but man, what a waste. Edits asterisk. A couple of things to clarify some common questions. 1. Why not Airbnb? This was 2004 or 2005. Airbnb didn't exist. 2. Why not a hotel? He had told her that he had his own place for quite a while, something like a year or so. A hotel wouldn't have cut it. 3. Why not a furnished apartment? They're pretty rare in our city, and the ones that do exist are for seniors or 50 plus. 4. Why did she fly there just to break up with him? She did, and she didn't on this one. The way he told it is that she was on her way to Europe to do a bus tour with friends, and the route she took with her flights to get there brought her through our city. So she arranged an extended layover so she could meet him and break the news gently instead of doing it by text or email. 5. Why did she get the bed and he got the couch? What a loser. Not true. She offered to take the couch, but he refused. My coworker was really tall too, like 6 feet 8 inches tall. So he painted the story of his legs being draped over the armrest. She really insisted he take the bed, but he told us he felt chivalrous to take the couch instead. Story 2. I'm into photography, and some people will immediately spend a lot of money on the most expensive gear, thinking it will make them instantly amazing. They either get discouraged or just realize they are not that into photography. Thankfully, it ultimately means barely used equipment being sold at a discount online. Story 3. A friend inherited $250,000 when his grandmother died. He bought a boat, a Corvette, and a bunch of other thoughtless purchases. He doesn't have any of it anymore. Had he bought a house, he would have made a wise investment. However, he just bought thoughtless items. Story 4. When I was little, my uncle died. It was the hospital's fault, and my aunt sued them. She won a lot of money and proceeded to spend it on whatever impulse buy she saw. She bought a mansion, a fleet of four-wheelers, motorcycles, a new car and truck, and an in-ground pool with a huge water slide. She bought Apple computers for every room in the house, even the kitchen. Bought a photography studio with tens of thousands of dollars worth of equipment. Overnight, she went from renting an apartment to living like some sort of celebrity. Going over to her house as a kid was awesome, but within like 2 years, she lost it all and was right back where she started, renting an apartment in a not-so-great part of town. Story 5. Young couple living in a camping trailer in his dad's driveway. No money, no jobs. She gets a few $1,000s from her grandma when she passes away, and they promptly go buy a horse. Neither of them has ever owned a horse. Dad's house is not remotely zoned for a horse. They can't afford to feed the animal. But hey, they own a horse. Story 6. I didn't need to see it. I experienced it myself. When I was at university, I spent around £1,000 on Overwatch loot boxes, and now the Overwatch servers are offline. I have no idea what I was thinking. Story 7. I have to be gambling, and I am a gambler myself. If you go to the casino once a month with $200 to lose to have fun for an evening, more power to you. However, I see so many people betting thousands who don't even know how to play the games properly. It blows my mind. Story 8. I worked at night in a gas station convenience store. I had a regular daily customer who came in to get gas, cigarettes, and a scratcher every single day. sometimes a lotto ticket. He spent about $500 a month on gambling just in that place. One Monday morning, he came in and said he had a bad weekend. I asked what happened, and he said he maxed out a $5,000 credit card gambling in Vegas. He then proceeded to buy his typical scratcher and lotto card because he needed the money to pay off that credit card. I would work and marvel at the odds printed in the fine print on scratchers and lotto tickets. Gambling really is a disease. Story 9. Marinas full of power yachts never seem to set sail. You're always paying for maintenance because the boats are moored in a massive, algae-filled pool, worsened by considerable floating debris. Thank you for the appreciation, everyone. I'm surprised by how engaging my comments are perceived. I'm waiting for the catch. But thank you, thank you, thank you. Story 10. I knew a girl who didn't own a car or a house, but she had €3,000 Chanel boots, a few Gucci and Chanel purses, and other expensive clothes, while she was making probably €1,500 to €2,000 per month. I would say designer clothes and purses are one of the most useless things one can buy. Story 11. Here's the corrected text. Anything from Gucci, Prada, and so on, people complain about having no money because they are poor from buying expensive brands. They can't buy a house because they can't afford the down payment but are quick to wear a Gucci belt or some Gucci pants or Jimmy Choos, yet borrowing money to buy food. It's hard to be mad at the capitalist society, but it's surprising how people spend money to keep up with the Joneses but have no true assets. Story 12. Back when cell phones became available to the public, there was a sticker called an internal signal booster you could put on the battery. They ran anywhere from $20 to $45. They did not do a single thing but were extremely popular. Story 13. There was this homeless woman I met before, begging at an intersection. I've talked to her and given her money before. A few times when we met, she said she bought a purse that was over $100, saying she wanted to buy something nice for herself. Like, you're homeless and living behind a closed-down restaurant. And when you finally have enough saved up, you go buy a purse. Stop talking to her ages ago. Story 14. I have seen people spend ridiculous amounts on luxury items they never actually use, like fancy gym memberships or gadgets that just gather dust. But to each their own. What seems like a waste to one person might bring joy or satisfaction to someone else. In the end, it is all about personal priorities and what makes you happy. Story 15. OnlyFans. I just don't understand why anyone pays for something they can easily get for free with just a simple search. It makes no sense at all to me.